Welcome to Brain Vision.
All right, so we know that 0.77 milligrams of nitrogen is reacted with chlorine to make 6.61 milligrams of something, but we don't know what the formula is. Well, the first thing we have to do if we're going to look for an empirical formula, we need to know the mass of each of the substances. We don't yet know the mass of the chlorine. But the law of conservation of mass says we can't create it or destroy it. So the mass on the reactant side has to equal the mass on the product side. So essentially the mass of the nitrogen plus the mass of the chlorine has to equal 6.61 milligrams. So to find the mass, we can take that 6.61 milligrams and subtract from the amount of nitrogen. And so we have 5.84 milligrams of chlorine. Now we can take that and do an empirical formula problem. Now these are in milligrams. We're going to need them though in grams. So we have to divide each of these by 1,000 to get grams. So we're going to have 0.00077 grams of nitrogen, and our 5.84 milligrams is 0.00584 grams of chlorine. Now, nitrogen is normally found as N2 and chlorine is Cl2. But remember, when you do empirical formula problems, we're going to be looking for the molar mass only of one atom. So let's start out with the nitrogen. We have 0.00077 grams. The molar mass of nitrogen is 14.01 grams. And so we have two significant figures, 5.5 times 10 to the minus 5 moles of nitrogen. And if we do the same thing for our chlorine, the molar mass of chlorine is 35.45 grams. And when we do the math there, we get a total of, to three significant figures, 1.65 times 10 to the minus 4 moles of chlorine. Now remember, when we do empirical formula problems, we now divide each one by the lowest number. The lowest number here being 5.5 times 10 to the minus 5. So if we divide that one by itself, we get 1. And if we divide the chlorine by that number, we get 3. So that means that the empirical formula is NCl3. So nitrogen trichloride is our substance here.